Neste quarto e último bloco acerca do testemunho do Dr. Peter, ele relata o descaso de alguns pequenos estudos realizados que tiveram como conclusão a ineficácia da Ivermectina, Hidroxicloroquina e outros medicamentos no tratamento precoce para a Covid-19. Ele ressalta que a abordagem deve ser multimedicamentosa, na procura de sinais de benefícios e segurança aceitáveis, para então combinar os medicamentos para determinado paciente que deles necessitar, e que eles erraram em acreditar que um único medicamento seria capaz de reduzir a mortalidade drasticamente em todos os pacientes. O guia APS foi usado nos Estados Unidos no último trimestre do ano de 2020, em mais de 500 mil casos, e provavelmente foi o que impediu os hospitais de ficarem superlotados. E que a curva de hospitalizados e mortes nos Estados Unidos começou a diminuir muito antes do surgimento da vacina, em decorrência da imunidade de rebanho, que surgiu antes da vacina. Ademais, nesse período, o tratamento precoce aumentou drasticamente. Ao observar a atitude de outros médicos, Dr. Peter percebeu que muitos médicos americanos, ao serem procurados por pacientes, diziam não tratar Covid. Ok, Dr. Peter perguntou a esses médicos: como você sabe que eles não estão bem com o tratamento? Após 2 dias, você liga para eles para saber como estão? Adivinha a resposta: não. E o Dr. Peter conclui: isso não significa eu não trato Covid, mas significa eu não me importo mais. Uma legítima perda de compaixão desses profissionais da área médica. Enquanto isso, no Brasil, o que se ouvia? Nossos heróis. Pois bem, cada país tem os heróis e representantes que merecem. Agora agradeçam a eles e à grande mídia por silenciarem e ostracizarem pessoas e profissionais de saúde de boa índole que tentaram de todas as formas salvar verdadeiramente as vidas dos brasileiros.
Está bem claro lá no contrato, nós não nos responsabilizamos por qualquer efeito colateral. Eles não têm nada a ver com isso. O que é pior, mexer no sistema imunológico das pessoas. É que você pode obrigar alguém a tomar uma vacina que não se completou a 3ª fase, ele está na experimental.
Mas como a história sempre se repete, o gado escolhe ignorar os avisos honestos e verdadeiros, para escolher e seguir o berrante falacioso do seu senhor.
E ainda tem gente dizendo que não pode tomar vacina, que não aceita obrigar a tomar vacina. Você sabe, Gleice, que eu sou contra a obrigatoriedade da vacina. Se o Moisés não quiser tomar vacina, não vai tomar, ninguém vai te obrigar a tomar vacina. Mas também você não vai poder ir para os lugares públicos.
We're focused over here and focused over there and focused on masks and what have you. Laser focus, sick patient, treat them. We lost focus on the most fundamental thing.
Dr.
That's my testimony.
Yeah, thank you. I can tell how passionate you are, and certainly have been a leader in talking about preventive protocols and also the ambulatory stage. And I do think that has been missing, and it's been a concern because COVID-19 is going to be with us, right? I mean, it's, I hope we're at 80% herd immunity. I don't know yet. I'll read your papers, but I appreciate that, and the message is that there are drugs out there that work. There are therapies out there that work.
But no single one works alone, and so the dismissive mistake was to do a very small study. Oh, we studied 200 patients, and we used ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and it didn't work. That's like cancer and picking one drug and saying, oh, it doesn't reduce cancer mortality. We never do that in cancer. We never did that in AIDS. We don't do it in hepatitis C. What we look for is signals of benefit and acceptable safety, and then we combine them. And that's all we've done. So, but this independent declaration, drug by drug, that drugs don't work, has been, and that's on us. That's been our medical house. That's been a giant error that we've made on our side. We never should have expected single drugs to reduce mortality, but drugs in combination against a fatal and viral infection, we should have.
This entire session is learn from lessons. I know we're running short on time. Senator Hall, you have one question, or?
Real quick, I'd asked the question earlier when Dr. Hellistat was here about the idea that fits in with what you've talked about, is that when we test someone, rather than just give them, yep, you're positive, you're negative, be on your way, that we at least provide them information of what we know out there can be used, not trying to play the role of doctor out there. Do you agree with Dr. Hellistat's interpretation that should not be done because it's up a doctor-patient relationship and simply informing people or providing with over-the-counter drugs that so that we could possibly have the early treatment for these folks rather than wait till they show up in the hospital?
We could at least have a physician group approved a guide. The AAPS guide has been used in over 500,000 cases in the United States. In fact, the early treatment is probably what prevented us from overflowing the hospitals in the last quarter of the year. When I testified, I said, listen, we're on track, and I was very convinced of this, we're on track of overflowing our hospitals. Our break point was 135,000 in the hospitals in the United States. We hit 128. Now, the curve started going down long before the vaccine. So I can tell you, herd immunity, long before the vaccine showed up, started to go down. But the early treatment kicked up. Ivermectin use skyrocketed. Hydroxychloroquine, monoclonal antibodies, as much as we can push them. Sadly, the monoclonal antibodies are still sitting on the shelf in a lot of places. But committees like this ought to be saying, listen, where are those monoclonal antibodies? Are we stocking them at the nursing home? What are the big nursing home chains? What are the big urgent care chains in Texas? And what are they doing? What are their early treatment protocols? These are blank spots. I bet nobody here has even thought about this. This is really low-hanging fruit that we can tackle. The bottom line is a lot of doctors have checked out. And when patients call them, they say, I don't treat COVID. And when I asked those doctors, I said, you don't treat COVID? How come? They go, well, there's no treatment. I said, but do you call them 2 days later to see how they're doing? No. So what's that? That's not I don't treat COVID. That's I don't care anymore. That's a loss of compassion. So we have a crisis of compassion in our country in the medical field. That's in our house right now. But for every doctor that's ever told a patient that they don't treat COVID, okay, but then they call them 2 days later and help them get oxygen or see how they're doing? If the answer is no, that's the Hippocratic Oath going out. And that's on us. And I'm telling you, we have a real self-check to do in the House of Medicine.
Yep.